Hey everyone, it's Alexander Robinson. Welcome to the channel, and this is my review for M3GAN 2.0, or M3GAN 2.0, because, you know, that's how Blumhouse has decided to call these movies. This movie follows a new android named Amelia, played by Ivanna Sakhno, as she basically goes rogue from her original programming established by the US government and starts to basically do an AI takeover of the entire world. However, it turns out that she was built from the schematics of the original M3GAN, and the government accuses Gemma, played again by Allison Williams, as being responsible for Amelia. She is not, and to prove that she is not, she essentially rebuilds M3GAN to try to go after Amelia and save the day. I actually did see this movie when it came out in theaters. I unfortunately didn't have time to review it because there were several things that were going on, whether it was with this channel or just my outside life. So I apologize that this review is coming as late as it is, but you know what? The movie just came out on digital today. It's in a way perfect timing since I missed it in its theatrical run, and it'd be a good time to get this review up when all the reactors get their M3GAN 2.0 reactions up. Okay, that's the last time I'll call that movie by its name, but I'm a fan of the first M3GAN. I thought it introduced a really cool new horror icon. It gave us that iconic dance in the hallway, and I also thought it was just a really sweet movie about this girl who's lost her parents and is trying to figure out a coping mechanism in the form of this AI robot. That was a really cool movie and much better than I could have ever imagined a January horror movie to be. M3GAN 2.0 is basically T2 Judgment Day to M3GAN's The Terminator, and I don't mean that in the best way possible. I mean that in the literal sense that it's a completely different genre. It's no longer horror or horror adjacent, it's more of an action movie. And by doing that, it kind of loses the spark that made the first movie so good. Obviously, the best thing that this movie has going for it is M3GAN. She is just as sassy as ever. She is a ton of fun whenever she's on screen. The practical effects that bring her to life are really good. And Jenna Davis still does an amazing job voicing this character and giving M3GAN that sassy personality that she is known for. There are a handful of lines in this movie that made me laugh hard just because of how she delivers them. So everything with M3GAN the character is well done. Everything else is just kind of bare bones, and like I said, missed the point of the original movie. The movie does attempt to have a theme of artificial intelligence and what happens when it's able to learn on its own and when we lose control of it, but it's nothing all that special. It just doesn't really have anything new to offer. And at the end of the day, the movie is just more about M3GAN fighting Amelia. That's about it. Violet McGraw is back as Caddy, Jenna's niece from the first movie, but she's more in the background. She doesn't really have that many scenes where she interacts with M3GAN, and she's not the heart of the movie like she was in the first one. I also found that Gemma's co-workers didn't really have much of a reason to be in this movie outside of some comic relief. Speaking of the comedy, it's very hit and miss. Like I said, everything with M3GAN is well done and the best part of the movie, but all the other humorous bits with other characters just don't seem to work, and it just makes the movie kind of awkward in a sense. It just makes the movie feel very awkward, with the most awkward source of comedy coming from Jemaine Clement as this egotistical CEO billionaire, and he is just straight up a cartoon and not a very funny one at that. There are some good things to like about this movie besides M3GAN herself. Allison Williams does a really good job as Gemma again. Ivanna Sakhno, who you remember from Pacific Rim Uprising and the Ahsoka series, is really good as Amelia, and I feel like this was more her test reel for becoming the next Bond girl, or maybe more the villainous Bond girl. I know there are talks about Sydney Sweeney joining the new Bond movie, but honestly, I think she's a much better fit for that franchise. There's an entire sequence close to the end of the first act where you watch her and go, yeah, she's a Bond girl right there. The action scenes are well done, and it can be a very entertaining movie to watch, but again, by ditching the horror element and making this more of an action movie, it really does lose the spark that made the first M3GAN so good, and the fact that it doesn't have much substance the way the first one did. There are a couple reasons why this movie flopped when it came out in theaters. The obvious one is that it came out during the summer. The reason the first one was such a big hit is because it came out in January, at a time when a horror movie coming out in January is usually the death nail, where it's like, oh, horror movie opens up the new year. It's gonna be terrible. And that movie surprised everyone, including myself. This time around, you have movies coming out like Jurassic World Rebirth, Superman, Fantastic Four, F1. You have so many of these big blockbusters coming out that of course something like this is going to get buried. And then the other reason is that the movie did genre hop. Even though it was marketed to be an action movie, that's not really what people wanted out of this series. When I saw this movie in theaters, I saw it with a friend of mine who actually worked as a seasonal supervisor for Halloween Horror Nights with all the M3GANs at the Terror Tram. So she came out of it wildly disappointed that it wasn't really a horror movie. So hearing from somebody who's more in love with the M3GAN character than I am definitely says a lot about why this movie didn't do all that well. But at the end of the day, I didn't hate it. I just thought it was more okay than anything. I say watch at your own risk. If you're okay with the fact that this ditches the horror side and becomes an action movie, then you'll be entertained. But if you're looking for something on the level of the first M3GAN, then you're not going to get it, because this is just more hollow than anything. And there you go, that's my review for M3GAN 2.0. I hope you enjoyed it. I want to thank you guys so much for watching this video, and I want to give a special thank you to my subscribers and YouTube members right over here, including Brad Lassiter, who had just rejoined YouTube membership. So welcome back. We are back to 9 YouTube members. Let's keep those numbers up, folks, because later down the line, I want to introduce some more perks for YouTube members, and also get back to the perks that I promised y'all, but haven't had time to deliver. But whether you're a YouTube member or a subscriber, you guys are the reason why this channel continues to grow every day. If you want to help to financially support the channel, you could do so via YouTube memberships for as little as $1.99 a month. But until next time, I want to know what you guys think about M3GAN 2.0. Whatever your opinions are, let me know in the comments below. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell button to get notifications. If you want to find me elsewhere on the internet, you can find me on these social media platforms and my theme park and travel channel right here on YouTube. I'll see you guys in the next video, but until then, have a good day and take care of yourselves.